We are live, sounds on, all that fun stuff. Hello, everybody out in YouTube land slash Discord land. How are you guys today? Cheers. Hope you had a good week. Hope you survived. Can you see everything?
Yeah, can you mute yourself on Discord?
Yeah, sorry.
Or, word. Evening, everyone. Oh, still.
Okay. You shouldn't be able to hear me coming through now, can you?
You know what it is? I'm hearing the YouTube stream.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe I can. You know what? I'll figure out. I can do this here. Hold
Just
on.
mute your
I fixed
YouTube.
it. I fixed it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Dunzo.
Bam. Per the norm, we have our usual early on IT issues. So, oh, topic. We don't really have a topic or a thing for the shows. A few things we'll talk about, but just hang out, kind of talk about the week, some things that we've seen, kind of what's going to be going on this month with me and CeeTee. We're both in the middle of moving. You're like a lot closer to being done moving than I am. You'll be. When do you move? When's your actual move date?
Well, the shipping container gets here on Wednesday, and so we're gonna start filling it up with like heavy stuff Wednesday night, and then we have full blown like movers coming on Thursday to fill it up, and then as soon as it gets picked up on Friday, we are on the road with 3 dogs in a rental van to drive all the way across country to Miami.
So instead of being like trading, taking pictures out of a Lambo, you can trade and take pictures out of a moving van and be like on the front of it and be like, this is the real deal.
Yeah, the oh man, it's gonna be something else. I mean, it's not gonna be like a nice like I mean, yeah, spending 4 days driving 16 hours a day or something. Not gonna be fun, I don't think. Hopefully, there's some good scenes or like some good views in like New Mexico and whatever else we're driving through.
Texas, you're going to drive through the flatlands of Nebraska or Texas or any of that stuff.
I don't think we're going that far north. We have to really check out the routes, and I'm not, given that we have like 3 dogs with us, we might end up either like building like a bed in the van to
Mm-hmm.
sleep in for the time we're on the road, or we might end up going to like campsites or something we'll see what happens. I think like sleeping in the van would be better than like trying to move all our luggage and 3 dogs in and out of a hotel every day. Like that just seems like a waste of time.
Yeah, you'd have to just be straight backpacking it. So that's what's going on with CeeTee. I'm similar to that this month. I'm in the middle of moving to, or like about to start heavy moving at the mid to end part of this month. So, uh, the so we'll talk about that a little bit, and just talk about the market, what we've been seeing, what our plans are, how we're kind of handling all the outside pressures and stress that's going on. Um, so, yeah, let's kick it, guys. Welcome to Friday's Fireside Chat. All right. So, um, yeah, it's been. So I'll give you a chance first, or I can take it. But and for anybody in chat, throw out questions. If you have questions, comments, things about the week, things you want us to answer, kind of throw it out. We're just gonna be here and kind of hang out. Um, how's how have you been handling trading, like with all of the kind of like how's your psychology been with it?
Well, I made the decision before, like when we came back, after we rented our place and came
Oh,
back, I
sorry,
made the
forgot.
decision.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Where's and which? Okay, let me see if I can do this right. It's gonna be on.
Other way.
No, I can't do it. I can never do it,
Tink.
bro. Okay, tink.
And cheers to all you bandits out there.
Indeed. Cheers, everyone. Dan J. Bizzle. Um, yeah, so I made the decision to just steer down for this entire like month until I get moved because I feel like that there's way too many distractions to be like trading at my normal tier size, and I didn't want to risk like having toxicity and whatnot. And I also didn't want to take a the whole month off, and like I just wanted to stay in the game more or less. And one of the things I've been having persistent struggles with is that like when I'm tiered down, like I'm not really super disciplined about like give back of like my day. Like let's say if I was at normal tier size and let's say I was up 10 grand, if I gave back to the point that I was only up 5 grand, I would walk the fuck away from the computer immediately and probably before I ever got to 5 grand. But like now I'm tiered down. I'm like I'm up 2 grand. I give back to a grand, and I just keep trading. And it's just like something psychologically. Like I'm not getting good sleep. I'm not. I've got distractions, and then we were talking about this earlier, Gator, is that there's something about like when you're trading at your normal tier size, like a loss that you take is a amount of money that you're like, oh yeah, okay, that was a loss.
Hmm.
Whereas like when you're tiered down, you're taking losses that seem like in your head like not a lot of money, but it doesn't take too many of those like to give back your day. So that's something I really been struggling with, and I'm trying not to beat myself up over it because it's like had a good week last week. I'm green this week, not a lot, but I should be green a lot more if I was like really really being disciplined and not about my give back and all that. And so it's tough. I mean, like when you've got a lot of outside stressors going on in your life and a lot of distractions, I think you got to cut yourself some slack a little bit because it's really easy to beat yourself up for not trading at 100% like you would if when you really don't have any distractions. And so that's something I'm kind of struggling with because I'm pretty hard on myself, and I need to like realize that there's a lot going on and it's going to get back to normal sooner than pretty soon, and it'll all be good. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you're experiencing a lot of the same things.
Yeah, it's similar. I've been sized down for a little bit since we gone through this, since we started like the whole process. And a lot of it was for me is because you start a new year, you start a new month, and you're at like zero, like as far as what you've made this year. And a lot of our money, or a lot of like the excess, like of the stuff I've made and stuff like we've spent, or some of it, you put it in the house, you've put it in like, new furniture for a brand new home that's twice the size of the home you live in now. You're like getting all the stuff in, starting to move, getting prepped for all that, and all that extra pressures, like it has made me. My voice is low. Uh, I'll speak up. It's kind of made me like sometimes focus on the money too much as opposed to really looking at the best trades I can take or the best setups I can take. And as I get going, I start giving back and I size down. Like I trade a normal, like for now, I'm just doing 10 contracts in the morning for the most part. And I'll size down to 5 to 2 to 3, trade it in the afternoon. And I kind of notice the same thing. It's, you hit it. And if you're, yeah, it really is that, Jay. It's death by a thousand paper cuts because I don't, like, it doesn't even phase me to lose like two, three, four, $500 generally with the general tier size. Because if you're trading Tesla with 20 contracts, you're going to lose that. But if I'm trading it, like sometimes I give my trades a little bit more room than I should, and not when they're good setups and not when it's like good stuff, but it's just like, I'll let this go and I'll do this. And you can kind of get lazy. What up, Andrew? And you can kind of get lazy with your trading when you tier down. And and the death by a thousand paper cuts is real, and you can definitely feel that kind of adding up, and you look back and then you go through, at least I do, like the whole, it's either you step away, which is the smart thing to do, or you sit there and you keep trading and you're like, who knows what you do, but then you go through the like, maybe I'm going to size back up now. Okay, well, let's find a good hit. I'm going to make this back. Like, it's only a grand. It's like you say 2,000 down to 1,000. It's like I can make that in one trade. All right, 10 contracts now. I'm going to hit a few. And then before you know it, you can very easy just, and now I'm red. And
Yeah,
then
and
it's
I,
like
I think
battle.
there's and that's the other thing that I think that you just mentioned now, which is another thing that I find myself doing is, great, I'm tiered down, so I'm going to give this trade a little more room than I would have if it was like a full tier trade, and then suddenly you like lost as much as you would have on a full tier trade if you would have like just cut it short. So it's yeah, it's tough, man, and I think we'd be managing these things better if we were fully focused. And it hasn't. I mean, I feel like the market's been giving us good opportunities, but
Mhm.
there's also they're like brief, and then it's a lot of like chop and like hard trading the rest of the time. So you really do have to like know when to hang it up for the day.
If you can save your mental capital for like those moves, whenever they come. Oh, I totally agree. Like there are some moves that you can catch if you're sitting there and you're in the groove and you're not exhausted and you're like, seeing them, that you can just easily see that breakdown. But if you played aggressive or you played wrong early when a setup wasn't there and you're down, what day was it? What day were we down early because Tesla was flagging? Was it yesterday or the day before?
I think it was the day before. Yeah,
Wednesday?
Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday. It was like, I thought it was like you had the big run up the day before. You think you're going to retest highs and then maybe fail. It doesn't do that. And, I was down near my stop loss. And so then I normally would have played that breakdown super aggressive, but I kind of used a lot of that, like, okay, I need to slow down and wait for a good setup. And because I didn't play that initial breakdown, you know, I caught it and I ended pretty green on the day. I was very happy with, um, yeah, I think I was pretty happy with the day, Wednesday, or Thursday, whenever it was, Thursday, I think it was actually. But, it was just, if you use all your mental capital and you're got so much stuff going on outside, it just seems so easy to kind of get tunnel vision. And I think that's kind of what I focused on, or what I've kind of been failing at is it's so easy for me to get tunnel vision when I have so much else going on. Because like I just need to make a little bit more. I just need to make this. I'm gonna go do that or whatever. And you just kind of can get sucked in a little bit, and then kind of like you say, death by a thousand paper cuts.
Well, and also we don't have the, at least I don't have the freedom right now to like just chill and not trade and just spend the day like waiting for something to come along because I've
Mm-hmm.
got like so much stuff to do. So it's tough. This is definitely a job where if you're not 100% focused and really like have your life in order, you're not going to be performing at your peak.
I've had to just accept that for this month. Like I'm just kind of assuming. Now I might have some great days, but I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm going to, and so this is something with the channel here and even in Discord is I'm gonna try to pretty much just trade like 30 minutes to an hour. And then I have a list of stuff I have to do before I move. And it's like, okay, let's start working on this list and checking it off. And that's all I'm going to let myself do. I'm going to trade for the first hour. And if I'm up more than a number that I have in my trading plan, it's like, hey, if you hit this number, you're done, because this number is a great number that's consistent. You don't need to get back from there. You don't have to make more in there. You know, you hit that every day this week, you're going to have a great week and a great month. So just trade that and log out and accept those kind of small wins, that small day. You don't need to try to make more. So my trading plan for this month is actually that. It's just find consistency and then log off, because that gives me the least amount of time to mess up and to kind of get sucked in or to get screwed up or to get death by a thousand paper cuts or to sit around longer than I need to and not do the long list of things that I have to get done before I leave.
Yeah, I think that's a great plan, and I'm usually pretty brief with my trading sessions, anyways. But the thing I'm going to try to do this week is just really respect the, like, once I'm up even like a grand or 2 grand, like if I give half of that back, I'm done. I need to just like call it right then and there, because
Mm.
that's been my biggest problem this week so far. Blade Man, I don't totally understand your question. If you're still trying to make the same money with, no, not that one, the next one. Do you guys see what percentage you're normally up along with your P&L and how? I don't know percentage like of our account value. I don't, because I don't pay attention to that. I just pay attention to my actual P&L for the day, which
Yeah.
is like 50 cents. Yeah, if I give back, I mean, at my normal tier size, I would stop myself at like once I gave back 20%. And that's sometimes hard to do when you're tiered down, because, that could be one trade that you gave back 20% and you're really just going to stop because of one loser. Whereas like, I guess now that I'm tiered down, I'm saying like 50% is the amount I should stop, because that gives me the ability to like be like, okay, you had 2 or 3 losers in a row, so clearly like the environment's changed, or whatever, your focus isn't there, and that's sort of the way I'm looking at it. I don't know if that answers your question, Blade Man.
Yeah, and I don't really do, other than the overall percentages of my P&L. Like my risk management in a trade isn't percentage of account or percentage of day or stuff like that. It's more of the, like I take the trade itself into account and what I think I can lose and where it's at and what could happen. But Like I'm not thinking like if I'm down 50% on the day, I usually am done. So it's like if you catch a good run, you're actively trading for 30 minutes or 45 minutes, I'm up 5 grand. And then at that point, like when the run's done, it's like, okay, reset. You look at it, you're like, okay, that's pretty good. My P&L is going. I take about 2 losers, and it's like, all right, I've lost 2, 3 times. Where am I at? All right, I'm down 20% for my P&L highs. Uh, and then usually for me it's 50% and I'm done for the day. But sometimes 60 is an easier number because that's not like 50%. You kind of want to make some back. If you're at 60, you kind of feel better about yourself, I found. So sometimes I'll do like I'll only let myself lose 25%. Some days I'll only let myself lose 40% of my day highs. It kind of depends on the day and how much I'm up. If I'm only up and I'm trading my normal tier size like 2 grand, to be honest with you, like I'm not really gonna stop. Um, in a sense, like my normal tier size, if I'm at 2 grand and I go down a grand, it's like, oh, your P&L high, you're down 50%. Like it needs to be for my like psychology and where I'm at. Like it has to be a number that's important to me. So, like for instance, maybe it's 5 grand. If you make 5 grand in a day, okay, I don't want to go back below 2,500 because like 2,500 I think gets you $1 million a year. So it's like, hey, you hit that number today, you were at 5 grand. If you go back to 2,500, you should just stop and take it. And that's kind of how I look at it, and how I kind of use those numbers. It kind of changes day to day based on how well or how bad I'm trading. If I'm down, I don't know, CT, you do the same. It's like if I'm down 5 grand and I come back to 2 grand green, I'm done. Or if I get back any at that point, I'm done because I'm not going red.
Yeah, if I have a big comeback from like a large red P&L, I will usually, like, once I get back to green, if I take one loser, then I'm like done because I don't want to risk the toxicity of going back to red. And but I see another question here. Blade Man's talking about percentage of, like, do we pay attention to what percentage we have into a trade? I do not pay. I do not like pay any attention whatsoever about how much money I've got going in a trade. The only thing I care about is what I expect to lose or win on that trade. I'm not concerned at all with the value of however many contracts I'm trading. That just doesn't like enter into my mind. And I don't think that it's helpful. I think that that's like, if for me, spending brain energy on that is not good. It's because sometimes you're trading like, big positions, right? And it's that can be a distraction. Like, focus on what you can lose, not like how much money you have into the trade.
Yeah, and if you're asking what we do as far as like a percentage of my account, like I don't pay any attention to that at all. Usually sometimes I'm 100%. Like I keep my account overall at a pretty low number and I take money out like weekly or daily when I hit certain levels. Um, and I keep it pretty low to force myself to follow my rules of trading with small contract size. So like I'm usually invested 100% of my account in every trade, but I also only keep my account at 30 or 40,000, and then I just take money out because you only need 10 contracts, and for the most part, around the money contracts are, you know, are under $40 a contract. And if I'm going higher than that, they move a little bit more, so I can take 5 contracts. And I don't try to make the same amount when I'm sized down as I do when I'm sized up. It's not an issue. I don't really look at all that. I'm not looking at the P&L. It's just I think what CT and I are saying is that it's easier to get those paper cuts because you don't respect your losses. Like I can size down and I'm not looking at what I make. I don't have a goal for what I make on the day per se. I just have numbers that I know for my trading style that I usually hit, and then where I'm at and how I give back. But I think what we're kind of getting at is we don't respect our losses as much when we tear down. Like if I took a knife out, like a big hatchet, and I hit my hand, I'd be like, "Ow, that hurts," or something. Or if like CT reared back and punched me in the face, I'd be like, "Ow," you know. But if like someone just like, "Hey, stop that," I don't respect. I wouldn't necessarily respect that. I wouldn't respect a paper cut the same way I would a knife. So I don't respect my losses as quickly. And you get tunnel vision, and you're like, "Oh, it's only $200," and then you take 15 or 10 trades that are $200 losers, and then you're 2 grand down from where you were at. So I think we're just talking about disrespecting those kind of levels At least I am.
Yeah, indeed. The Elliot Elliot is or Eyelid is asking about what a realistic profit is for a smaller account like 5 to 10K. That is totally dependent on what the market is doing. There's, like a year ago or whatever, you could probably double your account every week with a 5 or 10, or maybe even every
Hmm.
day with a $5 or $10,000 account. Trading isn't quite so easy right now, so I would say just focus on stacking green days, not worrying about how big they are, and then once you're up to PDT levels, then that should be your goal right now, and just stacking green days, because clearly you're not probably going to make a living under PDT with an account that size. So at this point, you're just learning and developing consistency.
Yeah. And you really shouldn't be, or I would say you shouldn't, like, I don't have a daily goal. And there's no correct answer for a daily goal wise. I mean, consistency matters, and the favorite photo that I like to throw up on all these for some reason, because little Curbster made it, and it's awesome, is the whole kind of consistency. Where is this? Here we go. Oh, what the? My computer must have updated. Let's do it with this one. The why consistency matters photo that everybody likes. If you say, well, I have a $10,000, $8,000 account. That's why I started with $8,000. And you're like, next year, I want to be able to do this full time. I need to get to 25K. What do I need to make? What setups do I need to take? Okay, well, if I can do this, I'll get there next year. $300 a day. And can you have the long term vision enough to sit down and to be like, I'm just gonna do like anywhere in here. I would say realistically with a $8,000 to $10,000 account, scalping the Qs or Tesla, I could do that. You know, with a few contracts if you take the right moves and if you're consistent and if, like CT said, you learn how to trade and you're just taking good trades and smacking those wins up and you accept your losses and you have a good trading plan and risk in there and you're just like just being consistent and you understand what you're doing. Like when I got started, all I did was trade Apple. Like I watched Apple every day for the first, and this was when before Apple split, so it was better. The first one and done, Mark one, know your limit, and I was done. I looked for 3 to 4 trades, and I would take 3 to 4 trades with 10 contracts in a name like Apple, or and a name that moved that I could understand. It doesn't matter what name it is. You find a name that you can that you can get familiar with and that you like how it moves, and you take those contracts. You add up 10 cent and 20 cent wins, and if you are winning 3 out of 4 times with 10 to 20 cents or something, and you have a correct stop loss in place, meaning you don't just let your loser go against you. You add $200 to $300 days up, and in half a year you'll have a $25,000 account. And if you
Yeah, I
have,
mean,
yeah,
getting to PDT is really where things are going to change for sure, because being able to churn through your money and keep trading is going to make a big difference. And it does, if you're making $200 a day on average, that's not going to take that long to get there. You'll get there like 6 months or whatever, however long that takes.
yeah, let's see. It would be 6 months at $200 a day, I think, with 255. But if you made,
I'm a human calculator.
you are technically, if you made $100 a day, if you made $100 a day in a year, you would make a little over $25,000. You know, math, and 51,000 if you had $200 a day. So, because there's 255 trading days. So, if you have that like long term, or you're just a human calculator, but if you have that long term like goal set and you can actually stick to it, and you can have that perspective on your trading and be like, I'm just looking for consistency. I'm going to log on, find a name I like, going to take some trades, and boom, boom. And same for Brenda or Carl, you're here, but you said from Brenda on an earlier comment that you can't. Um, is it better? And I'll answer this with your other one, Brenda. You said you can't take. Um, like you can't size down and it's hard to come back with one contract or to size down. I mean, I can't tell you what trade. I guess it depends on the name and your risk reward. And I assume CT's answer, I mean, what you see is fairly similar to this. What's your risk reward? Are you going to take 3 contracts and be sweating it and white knuckling and holding too long and not being able to accept your losers? Or are you going, like, can you do that with 3 contracts? If you can trade 3 contracts consistently and it doesn't bother you, sure, take 3 contracts. You know, throw 3 contracts at it if you like it and you're comfortable with the setups and you're doing all that. But I can't tell you what to do. There's no better or worse. And if I said what's the best thing or what would I recommend, I'd be like, suck it up, Buttercup, and take 10 contracts. You know, hit it or quit it, everything, all or nothing. Let's go. You know, that's me, but that might not be you. You might not have that mindset of like, here we go, I'm taking 10 in Tesla and Amazon. I don't care. That's me. That might not be you, and that's not a bad thing. So you need to know your mentality and where you're at and if you can handle them. You can't stay sized down forever if you want to do this as a job.
Yeah, and along with everything Gator said, something that once you're taking more than 1 contract, let's say you're taking 3 contracts, or you can take up to 3 contracts, try to like assess the trades you're taking and try to like maybe you want to take one contract because it's a good setup but it's not amazing, or it's good enough to take but it's not compelling that you want to take 3, and being able to start to rate like conviction level based on as many indicators as you can process at that time is something that you're going to have to do as you grow as a trader. So if you can start working on that, that'll help you later on.
Yeah, and AMD is a good name. AMD trades kind of like what Apple used to, I think. I think Apple used to even be better than AMD now.
You guys are way more patient than me. Oh my god. I took, what was it, like AMD was gapped up this week and I took that short and I felt like I was in it for like a million years, bro. I sold so fast. I was just like, oh my god. I even did the thing where I bought the position and took like a trade window off to the side so I could
Mhm.
sell it if I need to, and went on and did other trades, and it was still just driving me crazy watching it. Just like I
I
gotta learn how to do that.
Dude, I hate it so much sometimes. Like, I do it, but I can't tell you how much I want to take profits. And I think sometimes I size up too much into some of those moves that I really like. It's like, I want to take this because, like, you might be up. Like, if you're doing 50 to 100 contracts in AMD and you're up 30 cents, 40 cents, you're like, I just want to take this. And it bounces up 20 cents. Like, no, I got to hold. It's just, but like, the only way I found to hold it is it's like, I have to size down and I just let it run, and it's like it's all good. Like, I can't full size them because I get like, I just hate sitting there in trades. I don't have that. Like, I'm still working on that discipline, dude.
I mean, and you're light years ahead of me with that respect. And Baxter, like I commend you for having the patience and skill to do that. I feel like now that like with Geronimo kind of like teaching a lot of these more long-term holds, this is definitely something that when I have more time to spend, I'm going to spend some time during the day really acclimating myself to these longer term holds so that I can get comfortable with that, because clearly that's a skill set that I'd like to develop and I just don't have it. I'm way too much like I just want to take the money as soon as it's there. Like I do not want to risk it ticking back down, and it's tough for me.
In that case, I mean, you're not going to go broke. And yeah, Robert, I think we both are. I know CT said he is. I'm not. I gave back more than I wanted to this week, a whole lot more. But yeah, I mean, it was a decent week.
Yeah, I gave back an embarrassing amount of my week, but so I mean like I'm green, great, but yeah, I would, yeah. Anyways, on to the next subject.
It's like, we're not going to talk about this anymore. And what do you say? Yeah, I'm glad, Ilya, that consistency is your goal, and and just there's no right or wrong answer for daily goals, and I don't really have daily goals until the day gets going, and then I've kind of traded for about 30 minutes, and then I see where I'm at, and then I don't try to have a monetary goal at that point. It's like, okay, let's see if there's some good setups to get green. Let's be patient, or you have 3 strikes and you're out type thing. And that's kind of how I do it. There's not necessarily anything wrong with them unless it messes with you like your psychology, and you're not happy with being $10 under your daily goal, and you think you have to take another trade, or you hold a trade that hits target because, oh, I just need $10 more on this trade or something like that. And that's the danger of having a specific daily goal. But I don't think it's bad to have kind of a daily average, or to understand how your trading style, how much you make. I know what I make generally with my trading style, and where I can be at after an hour of good trading. Um, and so I kind of like, I have a range that I usually hit every day, and then I usually stop. And I maybe could do better, but I'm just kind of content with that, right or wrong. I'm not saying that approach is right or wrong, but I get there and I'm like, okay, well, I'm good.
And I mean, you're talking about over trading here, and the like the best way to like limit yourself from over trading is just like what we're talking about. If you give back half your day, you need to just stop. You're over trading. Like once you start giving back, a significant portion of your day, if that's 20%, if that's 40%, if that's 50%, you've got to develop the discipline to walk away, or you're going to end up like me, like giving back too much of my week, bitter about it.
Yeah. And I'll tell y'all how much I gave back from my P&L highs. I'll tell you a range. It was somewhere in the range of 30 grand this week. If y'all want to know, like, how far off my week P&L highs, um, due to some inconsistencies. Like, I traded good most days, but because I was super green one day and then went back to flat, and then was flat and went red, and that was Tuesday, and then Wednesday I couldn't trade because I had stuff going on. I missed the move, and then Thursday and Friday were good, but like, I was literally, I'm 30-ish grand off my high if I would have cleaned myself up a little bit. So I gave back a decent amount this week that I'm not proud of. But I also traded really well a lot. There was just times when I allowed paper cuts to add up, and I didn't respect my losses, and I didn't respect that on the day, and that kind of happened. And then I didn't trade Wednesday, so you didn't. It is what it is. But that's kind of how it goes. And
There's a question up there before it
Yeah.
scrolls up. There's a Ryan.
Ryan, yeah.
Asks about pattern day trading and $10,000 in your
Yep.
account. So with pattern day trading, whether you're trading equities or options, once you trade through that $10,000, you are done for the day, is my understanding. So it's not. Whereas once you hit that $25,000 PDT level and you go on margin, you can just continually keep trading that same money over and over and over all day long. So that's how that works.
Unless you're in Canada, apparently.
How does it work? Is there
They
no
don't
PDT
have.
there?
No, there's no PDT there. You just, like, 10,000. You could trade that same 10,000 over and over. It's an American thing.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah.
It's that is I've always thought that was a really odd, like, kind of like a barrier to entry for like people who don't have a lot of money, and I don't really think I agree with that. Like, I
Yeah.
think that is kind of not a good rule in my opinion.
Yep.
I think that because not a lot of people have $25,000 saved up, like in
Yep.
this country anyways. If you took most people are $25,000 in debt, not
Yes.
$25,000 in the bank.
Yes, I agree. It's definitely a barrier to entry for scalping and doing that kind of, like, you have to hold stuff, and you know, yeah. We'll see. I'm gonna do, after I get settled in, and probably August, September, do a 5K challenge, and record it and post everyday stuff and journal the trades and talk through them and all that. And we'll see, like, and just to see how hard it is. I've done it before, but I just want to see, if I can blow out. I'll probably lose, but to watch that happen. But yeah, it basically just works as you can only spend that 10,000 a day. So it's like you just need to be cautious of that, only being able to spend that. Then once you hit 25K, you're pretty much good. I might. And Gomu, I saw your question earlier, and I also saw your Discord message. I was with my wife and the kids earlier, so I'll shoot you a Discord message on that. And yeah, we can let people stream, and I'll send you a message in Discord on that. And if I'm gonna stream it or stuff, I don't know. Maybe it'll be something I do to YouTube. My problem was, I don't mind streaming trades, or streaming myself, and I show some stuff. It's more, I don't know about CT what you think about it, but like streaming stuff, I'm not looking for people to follow me. because I take sometimes like I gave back 30 grand, guys, which means that I sometimes take outsized risk and I sometimes do stuff that I shouldn't do and other stuff. And I'm not looking to have other people, because they do respect or they know that I make money or that I do good call outs or whatever it is, um, that um, like to follow me into every trade. And so I don't stream because at least now that's not really what I'm trying to do. So unless
I
I'm
think
just really in
streaming
a
is
role, it's like eh.
stream like I think that's really dangerous because that's a way to like draw like inexperienced traders into like blowing up their account in 10 minutes. I think what you do where you record your trades and sometimes share those, I think that that's a great learning tool. But I think that to someone who doesn't really know like how fast things happen, that they might try to follow you as you're doing trades, and you could wreck them really badly. And I don't think any of us want to do that to anybody.
Yeah, and it's obviously for entertainment. I'm not worried about like SEC or any of that kind of stuff when it comes to this. Um, it's more just the not wanting people to follow me, but to understand what I'm doing. And when I'm talking through trades in the middle of the day, or CeeTee or Mitchell is calling out positions, like you should be able to understand what and why we're calling them out and look at a chart and see it and be like, yeah, I was looking at that trade too, and it gives you confidence. Not like, oh, Gator clicked buy, oh, Gator clicked sell. I'm not looking to have that type of thing, and I don't. Well, I definitely might do some live streams, or I don't know. I'll make a what's it called? What do they call it? What's the tier level thing where you have a Patreon? It's like sign up for my Patreon account. You can
And you
watch
can
me
watch our
trade
live
live.
stream.
You can watch Gator lose money live or make money. But maybe I don't particularly have an issue with people doing it, especially for educational purposes. And in the middle of the day, I wouldn't sometimes mind streaming if it was for education to show people what's going on. But as a general rule, day to day, it's not something I'm going to be, I don't think, doing, at least in the short term. I'd rather teach you how to spot the trades and do them and hear the call outs, and you call out your own and stuff like that. I don't mind people watching me. I have people come over the house sometime and sit right here and watch me so I can teach them how to do it that I'm friends with. It doesn't bother me, but so
Yeah, and I mean, I think Vaughn in Discord's asking about looking at your setup and seeing how you execute. The I mean, Gator has videos out there that you can look at that show his setup and everything. And the challenging thing is most of us have like multi-monitor setups, and you might not like in real time for us to say, oh, I'm looking at this 5-minute chart and then looking, the things the analysis we're doing on multiple time frames on different monitors, there you would not be able to like know what we couldn't even talk you through it as fast as it's happening. Like
mhm.
we're process, and so like slowing it down and talking about it after the fact, like, oh, I saw this like 15-minute candle was closing, and there was a 5-minute breakout that could get us into that, and and talking about things after the fact, because you literally can't explain all the things that are going in our, I mean, Gator, wouldn't you agree that there's just no way in real time to explain all the things that we're processing and
Yeah.
in real time?
Yeah, there's not. You just have to be so like, it's kind of like with master classes and the different stuff that Mark did. Just the more time in front of the screen you look at, and if you go watch the trade review video I posted, I don't know, last week or Monday or whenever it was, and you look at it, like my setup that you see, like I've shown my setup, my screen before. Do I have anything on here? I can't. I don't think so. It's like I'm getting an entirely new setup when I move, but you're looking at like multiple monitors, 2 monitors, and the important stuff that I think that people need to see are in those videos. I have OBS where I crop like my 5-minute chart of my main thing I'm trying to look at. I have a cropped like out of all my different fidelity things that I think are important, and then I have a cropped 2-minute chart, and I have my entries and my exits and all that, and you can kind of see the stuff that's important. And if I was going to sit there and talk through it, could I do it? Yes, but it is easier to do it afterwards. And me just saying I like this short here in the chat room, like CeeTee does or Mitchell does, and it's sometimes like Mitchell's been doing it lately, and I try to do the same. where it's like, okay, there's a 2 minute closing here. I'm looking to buy at the top of this 2 minute bar, and then I'm going to short it, and my stop will be the top of it. We say that because we have time and it hasn't happened yet. But a lot of times you don't have time to go through that. And even when he's saying that, because I've done videos on it, he talked about it when he's on here. Like, that's kind of been a theme of the way we've been trading. You guys who trade with us know what we're doing. Like, you understand it. Um, you you would not get as much as you think you would out of sitting with me and watching me. I don't think.
Yeah, I think I totally agree that being like the what you do now, where you review a trade by saying you pause it and you talk about all the things that are going through your head, and then you start it and then you pause it and you talk, like there's just no way you can explain all the analysis that goes into, into taking a trade and finding your entry and your exit. It takes a long time to explain that stuff. What happens in a matter of like a second or two, takes 30 seconds to explain. So
And what do you think, CT, about this? That often, and I've been in this place too, you think that if you could just sit with somebody, but what you're really looking for is confidence. Like, as a trader, if you're asking and you want to be able to see this stuff, what you're really, in a sense, lacking is like confidence in what you're seeing in front of you. And you want to see everything that I'm seeing. Like, it's like I have something that you don't, or, and it is for an educational, I mean, like, he can show me something that I'm not seeing. But really, in the end, I think, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, that it sometimes comes down to a lack of confidence in what you're seeing. So you're wanting to see everything that Mitchell or CT is seeing when I'm looking at 9 charts and 4 charts. Like, I'm not actually looking at that much. Um, and we do kind of go through the stuff, but you're just wanting to, that little bit of extra kind of confidence from seeing everything I'm seeing, I guess. I don't know how to say it. Like, I'm probably saying that bad.
well, and also I think it's, we've got so many. I don't know about you, but I've got, I don't probably 16, like 18 or 20 charts up, like in addition to like ATP. So and my eyes are just all over the place so fast. Like I don't know how somebody watching me would necessarily. The only thing they'd be able to see is like my executions. They wouldn't be able to see like all the different things I'm like trying to put together in terms of like various indicators and various time frames lining up and stuff like that.
Man, it's like sometimes I just look at the charts and you randomly notice that every name is hitting VWAP at the same time and it's been going down for a little bit. You're like, oh, there's probably a pop going to happen here. And it's like, it's just little things as simple as that sometimes that you just notice because you've been trading things so much. It's like, oh, we're into the 2 minute 200. Well, we're probably not going higher. And that means we might go down. So let's see if there's an opportunity to catch a short here. Like, a lot of it's very simple. It's not. There's no real secret. And Vaughn is saying in the Discord that it's correct for you. You don't want to follow. You want to continue to learn and build more confidence in the setups and chart. So hearing confirmation and building it, yeah. And that's why we try to call stuff out and talk about it and kind of help people see those things. I just think a live stream, if I live streamed all my trades, not that I'm entirely against it, but if I was like live streaming and just showing everything, I think it would create followers, and not, it'd like be giving a man a fish as opposed to teaching him to fish. And you might just watch me on a bad day when it's like, yo, I lose 10 grand, and I can eat a 10 grand loss and walk away and hit my stop loss and be like, okay, well, I'm done, and come back tomorrow and trade. There are some people who can't take those setups, and who can't lose that. And I trade with an aggression that will allow me to hit my stop loss in 30 minutes sometimes. And so people watching kind of have to realize that. Now, I think CT is probably the same. The stuff that we call out is our higher conviction stuff.
Yeah, I generally don't like. I might take 5 trades for every one trade that I call out in the room, just because uh like you're saying, like you want to filter out the best stuff to share, since there's multiple people on mic. And for sure, like this month I'm not doing a lot of talking. I'm like, being that my focus isn't where as much as it usually is, I can't share as much analysis and all that. But yeah, I think everybody who's on mic filters their call outs.
Hmm. So I don't know. I hope that doesn't go too much into the whole like streaming versus posting it, but that is a reason that I don't. And maybe at some point, I don't know. Maybe we'll start we'll start a Patreon and we'll be like, hey, if you want to watch us, come join us on.
Guys charged by the minute, dude.
Yeah, it's like by the minute. It's like $10 a minute. Oh, that's so stupid. Uh, yeah, man. But yeah, I will. I'll hit you back up on Discord. I saw your message. Um, and again, it's not a bad idea, and I understand the concept behind it. Yeah, and it. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just trying to. You can say whatever. I'm going to try to read this question here in my head before I answer it.
And I'm
Okay,
reading.
no, or not.
Yeah.
See, so the question,
You need me to scroll up.
what's the biggest game changer that gave you the bigger picture? No, you're good. It's actually right at the bottom there. I'm just trying to
Oh,
process
yeah,
it.
yes, yeah.
It's been a long day and my brain is not working super fast.
Well, I'll give you a chance to. I can give you a
Yeah,
chance to think about
let me
it.
think that through and you talk.
Okay. So I'm gonna ramble for a second. So the difference with entering a trade, and so the reason I do the shows and the trade review shows, I don't cut them. Like I might skip, but like I don't even pre-review my trades before I go in there. Like before I sit down, I might like this trade happened 15 minutes into the day, and I just click on it and I go there, and you guys see me live and you hear me live during the day, and then you see the live trades if you watch those trade review shows, and they're not edited as far as the time. It's not like I cut, and if I cut, I'm just clicking on the video to get to another timestamp where another trade happened. And then I talk through everything that's happening. Um, and you're like in Goma, you said the and it's hard, and I understand the know why, and you can always message me. Like if you anybody watching this and you hear me call a trade out, I don't remember the trades I take. Like almost there's very few I remember throughout the day, but I call a lot of them out. And if there are stuff that you do, you can message me. And like I know Jess and others have recorded, and like they record their screen, so they also record like me talking and Mitchell talking and Rose, and you can like say, hey, at 10:45 today, you took this trade or you called it out. Why did you call this out? Why didn't you? And I'll get back to you. Like I'll write you, maybe not like right away, as people who write me know that sometimes I take a bit, but if you write me, I will get back to you. I'll look at my chart, I'll look at my trade, and just like a recording video, I can answer your question, and I can be like, um, yeah, this is why I took this. This is what I was looking at. Like anybody that wants to send me a question about a trade I was looking at or why I didn't take one, um, I'm more than happy to answer it. I'm more than happy to even do a live chat with you at night on in Discord, or to share my screen in the middle of the day or whatever it is. Like, it doesn't bother me to do stuff like that. You just got to reach out and ask for it, and I don't mind helping you out and letting you know why I took a trade if I don't cover it or I don't do shows or something about it, to help you kind of get a fuller picture of what I was looking at.
Yeah, I think talking about things after the fact, when the pressure isn't on, you can explain in a lot more detail what you liked about something. Okay, Islet. I hope I'm saying your name right. So I think the the thing that really like forged me as a trader was the fact that I spent 8 months trading a small tiers, even though I didn't need to. So I just spent so many hours taking so many, tens of thousands of trades, watching the tape, like just getting, spending time in front of the charts, learning how to process all that information. Um, that I think is probably the thing that really set me up for success, was that I wasn't in a crazy hurry to just start tearing up right away. I was concentrated on developing consistency and stringing together green days, and doing that at a tier size where I couldn't damage my capital. And that's, you'll hear us say that over and over again, that the most important, your number one job as a trader is preservation of capital, because once that's gone, you can't trade anymore. So I was extremely disciplined to, I started with like a 50K account, and I was trading just tiny, tiny tiers for 8 months straight, day in, day out, just grinding and grinding and grinding. time, watching the level 2 and learning the different names, learning the way that price moves in the different names, learning how to like be fast with the charts and everything. And there's no substitute for time in the chair, as so many people we respect will tell you. And I think that you just need to be willing to practice at a small tier until you are extremely consistent, and that's when it's time to start tiering up. I hope that answers your question.
And for me, it was a good answer, and I agree with everything CT just said. And for me, the biggest thing that helped was, or I'll say still helping, is a having an OODA loop that allows me to adapt. Having a, it's like, a month ago, I didn't do a video talking about like buying at the top of the levels and like consistently shorting it, like in the chop zone, how to like locate the stuff. And I was trading a little bit differently. I am trading in a way to where I'm trying to see what the market does. And I'm not taking 30 contracts of Tesla at the open now. I'm being cautious for the first 5 minutes. I'm waiting to see, a trend, and I size down on my aggressive plays early. And then I try to manage when I throw all of my accounts into a trade. And having that kind of OODA loop that instead of just saying, I've got this, and I'm going to do, like, I'm just going to hit this, I'm going to hit it hard, to kind of adapt and flow with the market and find what's working and be a little bit flexible with my rules and learn when to lock it in. Little things like that has really helped. Like some days I start off and it's like, hey, I have a price target and a measured move or a fib line that I'm trying to hit, and then it's like, you know what, this name hasn't hit this 3 times today, so I'm going to adapt and I'm going to take the quick money instead of trying to hold for the whole move. I'm not getting good PI, and I've just been adapting quicker to what the market's doing, and that's really helped me sustain success and continue to do this, because I I got to where I was at by trading just aggressively, and it was just the market that allowed me to do it. And now I'm continuing to be there by being cautious and holding back my aggression and then hitting it hard and then stopping and learning that stopping and the OODA loop that allows me to zoom out and like look around, slow down. Don't get sucked into this. Let's take other things into account. Where are we at? Stopping randomly through the middle of the day and taking breaks, stuff like that is what's kind of kept me for my success, helped me.
Yeah, and it's so important to just learn that you're going to be continuously evolving your strategies forever. And like that is another thing that you kind of have to learn as a new trader, is that you need to recognize really fast when something isn't working before you get hurt, and start working on making adaptations to it to try to see what is working. So essentially what Gator said, rephrased.
In a shorter, more context, a magnificent way, like a man with a amazing mustache like yours could come up with. He's like, instead of this bumbling fool, I will say this in fewer words. Thus my wisdom. So the wisdom.
I feel like my
of
mustache
CeeTee.
is so unkept today. It's like my hygiene is slipping with this move, bro.
You'll be good. Just grow the full beard. Grow the full beard, full
Uh,
down to here. Like, you can braid it, do it on the beard.
I'm gonna have to like start like inching down on the top though, because I'm gonna be like scuba diving again now, like regularly. So, and the mask leaks, man. So we'll see if I can maintain it.
The
The wife
struggles.
is trying to get me to shave it.
Oh, don't
Not
give it.
happening.
Don't give in to the woman. Don't give in to the women that wants to shave the mustache.
So funny.
I think your trading would fail, like if you shaved. My
That's where
wife,
the mojo is.
it is. You couldn't win without it. So, guys, you have to like this video. If you don't like this video, then CT's wife will make him shave the mustache. So we have to get the likes on the
No.
video. Go like it.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe so CT doesn't have to shave his mustache if for no other reason. Um, K, whatever. Jamily, K. Is Active Trader Pro better than TOS? I can't tell you what's better or not. I will say this. Yes.
Yeah.
For
I think that's
option
a common
scalping.
theme. Yeah, a lot of people who are on TOS that make the switch tend to say that like active trader is a lot better. Um, Dan has a question there about how many trades did you guys take this week and what was the win rate? I have not looked at my stats this week due to my like busyness of moving and stuff, but on average, the win to loss rate is not like crazy. I'm usually like 55 to 60%
Mm.
wins, but my wins are typically a lot bigger than my losses. So that ends up turning into like very nice days. I don't know if Greater that's the same sort of situation. Like
Yeah.
most of us take like we're really we take a loss really quick as soon as like a trade if a trade doesn't work right away, we just get out, and so it's a tiny little loss, and then
Mm.
the winning trades might be like 3, 4, 5 times that much.
Yeah, I probably did somewhere in the 400 trade range, maybe less this week because I didn't trade on Wednesday. So maybe it was a 300 trade week. I didn't check.
I'd say I'd probably in 200 to 300 this week, and I didn't trade on Monday.
Yeah.
And oh, somebody else was asking, they must be new because they're asking that we don't that we buy and sell the same day. We not only buy and sell the same day, we buy and sell the same minute most of the time.
And then we rebuy and sell in the next minute, and we rebuy and sell in the minute after that. That's why
Yeah.
PAT, the whole trading nonstop, is important for us, is because we want to be able to buy and sell with the same money nonstop, which is kind of what we do. Over here is where we're buying and selling things. Like I'll buy and sell Tesla 50 times. I traded more this week than I normally do, so I probably had 300 to 400 trades. And I probably had a win rate in the 60%, 50%. That's usually my good weeks, is where I'm at. If I'm very selective, I could probably do it in less. And I could probably do what I do in less. But I enjoy what I do and how I trade. And as long as I'm doing good at it, I continue it. Um, and I've cut down from like over 100 trades a day. And I'm now on it within a, if I lock it in early and I size down, I probably do under 50 a day now. But if I'm here in the afternoon on the mic talking, like I was doing on Thursday, uh, like I called out just nonstop for about an hour. Like I was just trading Tesla and calling out shorts. And when I was entering, and if you heard me do that, like I probably in 30 minutes took, I don't know, 20 trades or something like that. I don't know if it was that many. I have no idea. I have to go back and watch the film. So it just depends. But I do a high volume, always, you know, easily over 300 trades a week. And if I had a good week, it's probably the 50 to 60% win rate. If I had more than that, it was a massive week.
And for me, it's super market dependent. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's some conditions where it's really tough, where maybe I'll take like 15 or 20 trades, but then I can remember back when when I first was starting to be successful and the market was just making new highs every day. There were days where I'd take 200, 250 trades a day, sometimes more than that, and have great days doing that. So I haven't done that in a while, but
Mm-hmm.
when the conditions are right and you want to scalp every candle or scalp every candle multiple times.
Yeah, there are times if you're playing the cues in Amazon right, if I get in a groove, which I haven't that much, but if you get in a groove with that, like I can play the same Amazon 1 minute candle 2 to 3 times sometimes, and if you get good PI and then it drops a little bit, you sell right away. Your PI pays you 50 cents, 30 cents. You wait, it pops back up in the cues, and they're like bouncing around at VWAP or something, and then you're like back in short, and then you're out, and the kind of PI pays you, you can sit there and geez, like I had almost, I think both of you and I had over $1 million in commissions that we paid to Fidelity last year, right?
It was definitely up there.
Yeah. Just so you know how many trades we take in a year as scalpers, as hyper scalpers. There are some trades now that I do, Mitchell or Michael, that are longer. Michael, yeah, that are longer trades, and I'm really holding things longer. And by longer, I mean like 5 minutes. But there's no like overnight stuff that I take or anything like that anymore. Like I never do overnights, ever. Like I accidentally took DWAC overnight once, and I ended up green. I've done two overnights, and I think I have like 100% win rate on them, and they were both like accidental like overnights.
Yeah, the and what yeah, Blade Man's talking about the old Melnick days, and for sure he was he was a great mentor, and I think didn't he say that he had been like kind of doing that broadcasting stuff for like maybe 10 years and then was even like doing, I think, a similar like thing, like running a group like in the gaming world before that. So, he definitely was a master of, of narration and, and broadcasting, if you will. Great,
Yeah.
great mentor. We're all very lucky to have learned under him.
Yeah, I was extremely blessed. I wouldn't be a trader if it wasn't for Mark. There's no way I would be doing this. Like his strategies and styles and the way options work and the simplicity at which he explained it and the way to get into it without the psychological kind of like, hey, this is just a simple know your limit 8 strategy that's set up right here. Yeah, you just buy it when it breaks the next level. It's like, oh, okay, that's easy enough. It's like crayon eating marine here can figure it out. It's like, yeah, that's easy, and and it works.
And really, that laid the foundation for all of us to get into these more complex strategies and learn how to use these more complex strategies with more precise entries, which I think is really useful. You can't put a dollar value on that.
No, and I think that you could still go back and use the original strategies, and we still use the original strategies, just variants of them, and make money. Like they still work, you know.
Yeah, I mean, when the market's like ripping,
Yeah,
like, and you like Mark one, the Mark ones, the know your limit dates, all that stuff, still works. It's just the conditions have to be right, and you need to be able to recognize those, which is, unfortunately, they don't happen quite as often as
darn it,
as we would like.
darn it. I'm looking for. I mean, I will say the shorts are fun. Like you know, I used to never like I made all my money in calls last year, and this year it's obviously most of them. I don't know, maybe it's 50-50, but I've definitely made a lot of money in puts. It's different. It'll be interesting to see whenever we get back to a bull market.
Yeah, the I actually got pretty comfortable playing puts, like not like maybe after I started a year into trading, so I've been doing it for a while, but it's definitely, I think I do more short plays than long plays, obviously. Surprisingly, in a bear market, we play more short plays.
It's like we play puts. That's what I love about doing things the way we do. It's like right now, I have no worries about what's happening over the weekend. Like I'm not trying to catch anything or break anything. I don't know. Like, I'm not worried when I go to sleep if I'm holding something overnight and if it's gonna gap up, you know. It's
Yeah,
just
I definitely feel
not
bad for
about it.
for people with long-term accounts who aren't active traders, but obviously, and when the market's doing this, this is the job to have, like when you are just like cash overnight.
Yeah. It's like at the end of every day, it's like, yo, I'm good. I'm done. Um, I mean, it's like I can relax. Unless you had big losers and you just have like a multiple week of big losers and then you're just stressed. But as far as your position, and then you take a position overnight to make it all back, and then you're like triple stressed and you have a heart attack.
And
I haven't done that.
for some reason, you're making me remember that time that I I was having a bad day and I got just like so frustrated and just shut off my system and real when I logged in the next day, I realized I had left 10 contracts at Amazon open. I was like, oh my god,
I'm not gonna say
like that. I just doubled that bad day. Like, oh man, that was brutal.
uh um
I now check my positions like 3 times before I log off, and then I like turn my computer back on to check my positions again.
have you seen the new the thing? I don't remember who showed it to us. And I had never messed with it, but you can change the color of your entries and exits in Fidelity.
Oh yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
It's super cool. Like when you're trying to figure out like what you did wrong.
Yeah, it's like, oh wait, I'm still in. I have not like there were so many times when I was still in a position that I didn't want to be in because I was just, you're just focused and you're jumping around. And now it's like I haven't done it since I changed the colors. That saved me a lot of money. I know
Oh yeah,
some.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say on this topic of like forgetting. I know somebody that their account was low, they were having a hard time, and they definitely got blessed because they forgot they were in a trade, and I think it was Amazon, and it made their day back and then some. It was our biggest ever green day, and they just like rage quit kind of, or just logged out, and then they had their biggest day because they were in
I
Amazon puts or something like that, and they were up like 10 grand or whatever it
Oh my
was.
God, can you imagine? Why does that, why do, when I ever leave a position open, it
I
does not
know.
go in my favor, dude.
I know. It's
Although
like,
I will say this week I did have one time when I thought I exited a position, but really I entered like I added to it, I guess, by
mhm.
accident. You know, like I bought another five when I thought I sold, and then like when I was trying to, that was nice. That was maybe the first time that ever worked in my favor, and I feel grateful.
Mhm.
So
Um,
there was a question from Jamil. I don't, you know, when like about which of Mark's setups are we having success with right now? And there are brief little spurts of like of volatility where I think Mark ones and Know Your Limit eights work, but I really I feel like all of his setups that we learned in our time with him, we've really made so many tweaks to continue to have success with those. It's really the market stuff, like
hmm.
right now for sure. Jader, I mean, would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. Mark ones, I guess. If you ask me which one, you get an igniting bar, and then you get a bar that closes and it takes off. You know, um, but yeah, I would say we've adapted the way we quickly play them. If I had to pick one, you know, the 21 is probably the most effective. The first time you hit a 1 minute or a 2 minute 21, the next 1 minute breakout will almost always pay you. It's probably, if I had to pick a strategy to say, it'd be like play the 1 or 2 minute 21, just wait for that to hit and play it. But the Mark 1 still very, if you're in the middle of a breakout, that's it. But we have edited and kind of changed the original strategies because used to it was you bought as it triggered. I don't buy anything as it triggers now unless I was late. It's like I bought when I decided I was going to buy this candle if it went up, no matter where that candle was at that point. So, like, we've really adapted things.
Yeah, clearly, like the whatever the cats that program the algos like figured out how to teach the algos to front run. Like that is obviously a thing now, and they are taking profits like before we could click exit. So it's now like trying to predict that time when direction changes rather than trying to buy just before the trigger. It's definitely a lot harder now, I think.
Yeah. Unless you're like in the middle of like, CT said, or like what happened Monday morning with just a massive just Amazon dump or Tesla
I don't
dump.
want to hear about Monday morning. I wasn't here Monday morning.
Okay. Yes, it was it Monday? Yeah, it just just straight down. Just straight down.
But yeah, no, there are those times you get these like little spurts of like brief moments of extreme volatility where you can use those old strategies, and yeah, it's good to know those and know how to execute on those. But yeah, I definitely think trading's a lot more difficult this year than it was last year and the year before.
Yeah, news flow hasn't really worked this year like it did last year. Like last year, you would get news and it was like I just slam news. I barely play news anymore. Like it works and sometimes it works, but I'm just not as aggressive with a lot of stuff now. Very cautious with how I do stuff. Definitely a harder year. I agree. Ilyas, what was a big thing Mark taught as a mentor that maybe we don't see on his videos today?
I think most of his videos are still like it doesn't somebody in the room have a like a spreadsheet with all the old videos? I think those are all up, and you
Yeah,
can still learn all of his. There's tons of gold. There's gold in there for sure, man. You can mine through those.
yeah, you can go back and watch them. And I mean, a lot of the stuff he did was the mental focus stuff and the sleep and like Philip Stein's sleep bracelet. I still wear a Philip Stein sleep bracelet when I go to sleep. It works. I gave one to my brother, and he had sleeping problems, and he uses it, and it works. Um, a lot of his stuff was the psychology stuff, but all that is in his old videos. Um, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, aside from the strategies, there's really he had so much to teach about psychology and just trading lifestyle and important stuff like that that I think we've incorporated into our lives and just kind of it's routine now. But yeah, all those things, learning how to keep your psychology positive and limit toxicity. And there's a lot of good stuff in there for sure. You
Hmm.
should mine through those old videos if you haven't already.
Yeah, if you got the time to do it, go and watch them. There's definitely good stuff. Uh, let's see. Just looking through these comments. Yeah, the triggers definitely aren't the same triggers. But it's just about adapting. That's like adapting as a trader. You start seeing those things. Honestly, the first Mark Fives are super effective. If you get a Mark Five that sets still and you have like a 1 minute 21, which launches you through a 2 minute green takes red, which launches you through a Mark Five and a 15-minute breakout, stuff like that is just money. Like portals like that, when you see them set up, you take it at bust. The level 2 doesn't slow down. It slows down for a second but doesn't really drop and then just like ticks back and just busts through those levels. That's when I need to start logging out CT after I catch one of those every day.
The Yeah, that would I don't has anybody talked to Kathy about coming on the show? I know that I confess I don't have a ton of like focus on the VTF chat as I compared to what I used to since we have the Discord going. I'm mostly just listening to Geronimo, but I know a lot of people get a ton of value out of Kathy's input in the room. So that'd be awesome to have her on the show.
I have mentioned it to her once, and I'll mention it to her again next week. She said that she worries about people, like kind of what we were talking about with people following type thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
she has some concerns with like getting into things and having people try to do what she does, and some other stuff like that. Like so, and maybe like legal things that she like worries about, which is legit.
Well,
So
yeah, those are all valid
yeah,
concerns.
they're definitely valid. But that's where she, I know, was last time, and she said she would watch some of my videos and then get back with me. So I need to reach back out to her, and I'll talk to her about coming back on. So, and maybe we'll do another one with Kelly. If y'all have questions or stuff, you know, we could get Kelly back on at some point and talk through some of his stuff again. Um,
I'm so embarrassed to admit that like I've only made it through half of that video because I think that was happening maybe like right as I went to PR, and then it's just been nonstop since then. And
yeah,
the first half of it I watched, I was just like, oh yeah, this is amazing stuff. So I can't wait to get like to have time to really like catch up on my homework.
yeah. If you're not, it's there's some good stuff in there, and he's helped me with the mornings. Like my short, I think was it in Tesla today? Let me look. It was one day this week. I don't remember when it was, or even what name it was.
Oh, I
Uh,
see you with those
here we go.
Kelly Diamond hand holds, buddy.
Sometimes, dude. So what I saw this morning, guys, since you guys are here, do our faces are out of the way. So other than this, so I'm going to show you two things I saw today. 2 minute. Look at where this opened up. 2 minute 200. So Kelly's stuff, you know, I had a 2 minute open at the morning, and my mic went down, and that's why I don't like Bluetooth stuff. My mic stopped working for whatever reason, and I saw this. I was like, oh, 2 minute 200. Big red bar down popped up here. I was like, I'm shorting Tesla at this 2 minute breakdown, and I shorted this and caught. I don't know. I caught over 10 points or around 10 points in this move in my option contracts, and I wasn't super heavy. Like I said, I sized down. Um, I didn't want to. It's not a trade I need to review, but you just hit this and this 2 minute breakdown off the 2 minute 200. You buy this breakdown and then just let it. You let it go, and that was pretty much my day. That was my day. I really didn't have to trade after that. And then I drew this line earlier, and it actually I think was supposed to be here, but I had it here for some reason. Um, and this is the other thing I did. Once I saw this up, I kind of drew this what I thought was a trend line because it kind of hit these levels. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait to see what happens. And as Tesla went back through here, I posted this picture. My kids are getting up. I'm gonna have to go. Oh, unless he falls down, I'm gonna have to go put him down. Oh, I definitely have to put him down. So
Uh,
I'm gonna throw you on really quick. I'm gonna go give him a passy and lay him down.
You can leave that chart up for a minute, and I'll try to talk about it for a second.
All right.
Or
Let
if
me.
you want to put my face on it, sure, go for
Yeah.
it.
I'm gonna. Where are you at? No, it's not it. Give me 1 second. You are here. Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, he lay down.
So,
Never mind.
oh, perfect timing. Get your face back up on there. But yeah, that if you guys are looking at that chart right now, do you see how those bars coming off the 200 are really like large comparatively to most of the other bars on the chart? I am constantly looking for igniting bars like that right off of the 200. That's oftentimes a really great entry for a trade. So what Gator did there is beautiful. Um, looking in chat here, how do you like Dory Ting is asking about how to listen to Geronimo. Geronimo is not in the Discord. He is the moderator of the T3 VTF.
Mm-hmm.
So and pretty much everybody in the Discord is also in the VTF. So you need to subscribe to that service to listen to him, and highly recommend doing so.
Yeah.
He's an amazing mentor, and you will get your money's worth.
Yeah, so if you've watched my show's story with Geronimo, and drop a comment, and the information is info@t3live.com. So if you want to send an email to that, info@t3live.com, and say that, you can use me. I'm not affiliated with them in any way whatsoever. But
Can
if
we
you,
catch a crumb for referrals, dude?
oh,
Can we get like a referral code?
yeah, I'm gonna ask JR about that actually. I'm gonna text him. Unless he's in this thing now, I'm gonna be like, yo, can I get a referral code if I start referring people to join the VTF? It's like me and CeeTee need some extra cheddar on the side because we keep giving back our days.
Taco money.
Taco money. But
Oh,
you can email that email, drop a comment in this video afterwards, and I can give you somebody's email. Amber, one of our trading counselors over there, and she can get you in contact with, and you can get you can at least know the pricing and stuff if that's something you want to do. Um, but
as much. I mean, I think as much as you can learn from us in Discord, and on Gator's nightly videos and everything, the depth to which like Geronimo goes into discussion and analysis will just blow your mind. He's been doing this for so long, like professionally, and his understanding of every aspect of the market is just mind blowing. He's a really great mentor.
yep. So, but from Kelly's video, guys, like this here, like gap up into the 2-minute 200, igniting bar down, take the 2-minute breakdown, let it ride. Um, and then over here, draw a trend line. Notice that it's kind of not hitting it or going higher. I don't know that this was a good trend line or not, but obviously my idea was after it flushed through it and I saw it flush, I'm like, next time it hits it, I'm going to short it if it doesn't break. I shorted that, and little stuff like that is pretty much, I don't know. Those are little things that you can do throughout the day. You can also do it here, if you're just using the 2-minute 200. And I feel like I called this, or Mitchell did. I don't remember. Yeah, we were still trading. Tesla kept hitting this. And I was like, at some point, this is going to break down off the 2-minute 200 because it just keeps failing this level. And so, when you start seeing stuff like that on your charts, you can start kind of taking some of these positions and trades and having that bigger picture, something that JR talks about a lot, which can be very helpful for your scalping. Oh, you
Yeah, I
are?
spend so much more times like zoomed out on like big charts now, like looking at the bigger picture than I used to when I was just so micro focused. I think the macro is definitely coming more into play now.
So
Oh
Doris?
shoot, we can make 100K a year off affiliate links. Oh, but wait, we don't have that many followers.
Yeah, we gotta have
Someday.
more followers, man. We gotta do some stuff. I need to start advertising the stuff here and get some followers, then do affiliate links. That's where all the
Oh,
money's
so
at.
Dory, you're in the VTF and you're not hearing Geronimo? Like
Or are you trying
the
to hear them through Discord?
you're not going to hear him through Discord.
No.
You'll have two separate streams, and like for, what I do, I don't know if this works for other people. I will have the VTF playing over my monitors, like not through the headphones, and I that way I can kind of just like move my headphone on and off my ear to in real time, like if I want to hear more of that or whatever. Obviously you can do that with a mixer, but for me that works really well. But I don't know, I guess if you're on the mic, it's a little bit more challenging than if you're just listening.
Just hint. I don't know why you're hinting at us. There's nothing we can do about it. Like, if you want to talk, if you just want to hear Geronimo, like, you don't have to listen to Discord, or you can just listen to Geronimo in the VTF.
Like you don't want to hear us, you can go to the left side and click on our name and mute us if you're
Yeah.
sick of our shit.
Yeah, if you don't want to hear me, you don't have to listen to me. Like if you're in Discord and you're like, I don't want to hear Gator, he's an idiot, you know,
Oh.
you can just go in here and you can just right click my name and click mute and you can mute me and you'll never hear me call anything out. It'd be kind of weird to be in the Discord and not listen to like us, but you know, but if you don't want to, you can just listen to Geronimo through the VTF, which is cool with me. I don't care.
We won't get our feelings hurt.
No, I need to delete this line. I forget to delete lines and fib lines at the end of the day a lot, and then I go through. Excuse me, and then it's like, oh crap, I have a bunch of random like fibs or lines in the middle of the next day that I forgot to delete.
So I've got a question for you, dude. Is
Yeah.
the where do you have like your keep your trend lines on different boards in TC versus like when you're zoomed. I don't know. I'm always torn about where to put my trend lines, whether I want them on the like on my main scalping like charts or whether I want those on something else, because I feel like it can get a little bit cluttered when you're like zoomed in and you don't know what a trend line's doing.
I
Do
keep
you have everything on the same chart or do you use different boards?
I keep all my main trend lines from my like daily levels translate to these here.
Okay, so those are visible at all times.
Yeah,
I
but
think my charts are just messy compared to yours because I keep all those daily levels like on my charts,
uh,
like like horizontal like pivots and stuff. I have so many of those, which I'm trying to get a little more picky about, like rather than just like plotting every daily break to the up and the downside. I'm trying to like actually just plot the actual like significant pivots, do something more like what Geronimo does.
I've thought about doing. I do those sometimes in this one, which is a different that's not linked to the other ones. So this one doesn't have my trend lines. So zoomed out, there's no trend lines on this one. It's not linked to the other one, and I can throw my pivots up that I think are important on this one, like highs
Mhm.
and lows. And then if there's a bunch of like trend lines in my 9 chart setup, my 9 charts have the trend lines because I can jump between time frames on this and see if they're hitting. And but on the other one, I have the I'll do my pivot lines over here for my like pre-market highs and lows and different stuff like that on my 4 charts. So that's kind of how I set it up. So my all my charts aren't as cluttered. So this one won't have trend lines. It just has horizontal lines. And I set daily trend lines up on this. So long-term stuff is on my 9 charts and short-term daily stuff is on my 4 chart setup.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably a good idea because I feel like having your horizontal pivots and having like diagonal like algo lines is just too much for me. My brain hurts.
Mm-hmm. And then you don't know what to respect and what not to respect, and you lose confidence in trades and stuff. Like, there's definitely you can over Spider-Man your charts for sure. Just Spider-Man shooting his web everywhere. I really try to keep stuff down to like a uh,
Yeah, like paring down. I find myself now I'm starting like there were moving averages we used to use like the 55 and stuff that I'm starting to like pull off the chart to try to like have a little more clarity of like compression and expansion and stuff. And
mm-hmm.
it's I'm starting to really like take time every week to pull off indicators that I don't find myself using so that I can pay a little bit more attention to other aspects of analysis that we've been working on.
That is a good way to do it. T double aught TJY. So you can like thin your lines to make them like if you add a plot and you can thin your lines to make them like lighter, more transparent. You can make them really
Yeah,
thin.
I actually switched mine from like a blue color to like the gray color at the thinnest setting, which helps tremendously, like seeing candle patterns without, being able to identify the level without cluttering up your charts too bad.
Yeah, apply to all symbols. No. Yeah, it's Interesting. I try to find ones that I use, and then I use JR's stuff. And you're good, Dory. We were just joking, but yeah, there's not. So, but yeah, I mean it's good stuff. It's been a week. I think it'll be a good month. I think it'll be better than last month. I'm already seeing better moves in the market. I just have to be intelligent about my trading. Like last month, there were a lot of times when I felt there weren't a lot of opportunities, with the exception of Tuesday, the day before FOMC. Like there's been opportunities every single day.
Yeah, trading this past 2 weeks, I think, has been drastically improved compared to last month. What's up, Robert?
So
The I'm a little bit bummed because I guess next Wednesday will be my last trading day for a minute while I'm like driving cross country and flying and getting back to our new house, and then I'm gonna be stuck on the laptops for like 2 weeks after that while we wait for the shipping container to get there with like my actual trading setup. So
I'm gonna be the same as you at the end of this month. Like, let's see, I am moving. So actually, it's beginning of the next month. So I'm taking everything out of our house over Memorial Day weekend, moving it to Georgia over that weekend, putting it in the new house, coming back to Maryland, living here out of a backpack for a, a week and a half. Why is this child waking up? Doesn't he know he's supposed to sleep? You're not supposed to cry in the middle of the night. I'll be right back.
cool. But yeah, I would the past 2 weeks have been dramatically different. I felt like last month you just had to be so picky about your setups, and yeah, it's the last week I felt like I had a really good week, even though I was tiered down, and this week I feel like I would have had a really good week too if I would have been a little bit more disciplined with controlling my give back. Oh, Robert, I do not pick up long dated stuff. I swing trading is not my forte. One day I hope to be there, but and it looks like we keep having swing lows, but then like we keep having days like I don't know. It seems tricky, to be honest. Like I entered a Google, like I put some Google shares in my like IRA account a few days back, and then stopped them, when it, stopped out of those for a small profit, and then it rallied up after FOMC, and then now tanked back down. This is a tricky environment for swing traders, I think.
For sure. I missed the other part of that, but I agree. It's definitely tricky for swing traders.
And when did I start doubling up on the amount of charts you have? So I pretty much had like a 9 chart layout. Like I basically did like what Melnick like did when I first started. Like I'd have a 4 chart layout that was just one name on 4 different time frames. Then I have a 9 chart layout that was all the names I was watching at a particular time. But now that I've got more real estate monitor wise, I'm able to throw up like back burner names if I want to keep an eye on them. And then I also find myself being able to like tab between like zoomed out 2 minute charts and things like that to try to get a bigger picture. But I think that when you're first learning, it's like minimize the amount of charts you have so you're not overwhelmed. And then once you can efficiently process that information, you can slowly start incorporating other things and seeing what you can derive value from.
Yeah, that's. Some people like think that more charts equal more money, or that you're gonna find the secret to the market by adding information. Like, I only keep stuff up that I like actively use, and when I do expand, I expand slowly so I don't get like overwhelmed with the new information type stuff.
Yeah, and like for me, I find that like my what I'm using is kind of constantly evolving too. Like I'm constantly making tweaks to visual aspects, or adding and removing indicators or changing layouts. Like it's countless times I've changed my default layout as I evolve as a trader. So just what Gator was saying, start out with a few charts, and once you can efficiently process those, start trying other things, see what works for you. What works for us might not work for you, and vice versa.
Yeah. I've seen people that look at this like, oh, there's so many line and all the other stuff. It's like I could honestly probably take off the 50, the 55, leave the 100 and some other stuff in here, and you know, be fine. But I keep them
I'm
on.
starting to get to like lean towards like where I used to have a standard set of indicators on every chart. I'm starting to like, I think next week what I'm going to try to do is pull off certain indicators on certain time frames kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like I don't feel like I need like the 100 on the, or no, there's certain ones like where great, I might want to see the 2 minute 200 and but not the 2 minute 100. Like, I don't know. I'm rambling. It's been
Yeah.
a long day.
It has, and we've been going for an hour and a half. I will say I find talking about trading, especially with other people, fairly easy. It's like if I'm sitting here talking, it's like time goes by pretty quick. Some people are like, you should have shorter videos. I'm like, I will in the future, but like if I'm sitting here talking, it's basically a podcast, you know, on YouTube. Um, Aside from technicals, how do both of you actually stuck a trading stick, a trading pro?
We need clarification,
Clarif-
Robert.
yeah, clarify your question. But I do want to post shorter videos, and do stuff that's quicker. But these type of shows, you're just hanging out talking. Um, I should have somebody that does edits and that pulls stick to a trading process. Aside from technicals, how do both of you actually stick to a trading process? Um, so the I mean, I stick to what makes me money. And so I stick to what's working. So I guess what part of the trading process are you talking about? I don't know if CT, if you kind of have an answer for what you're.
um, yeah, I'm not
Don't
totally
bend.
processing the question.
So how do we not bend? Is that the question?
Oh, I got it. Yeah. Well, just making rules for yourself. And when you have rules about, when you have to stop trading and stuff, if you start to bend and you lose money, you got to stop. You're not going to like blow up your account. We've unfortunately seen a lot of our peers, you know, who aren't with us anymore, destroy their accounts because they weren't able to stop, at a certain level. And that really is, the most important thing that you need to learn how to do, because you're going to have losing days, and the better you're able to limit the size of those losing days, the better your success is going to be long term. And you're not going to have longevity if you can't limit your losing days.
Yeah, and you're either going to learn that lesson through the pain of losing, or you're going to learn it through, like, oh, wait, I need to do this. And you're just going to practice the discipline. And had so many shows where we talk about this. It's like discipline isn't just something you have that's just inherent in your personality and who you are. For the most part, it's something that's learned and it's repetitive action. Discipline is just habit, and it's a good habit, and it's just repetitively doing something. So you create discipline and sticking to a process because you create a process that you respect in your mind, that you respect as a trader, and then you say, and then you follow it, and then you follow it so much that you're just like, I'm following it and I'm respecting it, and I'm loose enough to adapt things as I need to, but I'm gonna do that, and then you do it. And if you continue to break that, in a sense, you're disrespecting yourself, you're disrespecting your trading, you're damaging your mental psychology because you're training yourself to break your own rules, whether you make money or lose money. And so I stick to a process by constantly doing the same thing over and over again with flexibility in how I'm taking trades and how I'm doing stuff and adapting that part of my game. But by following those rules I set for myself, and respecting those rules as a trader, because I know consistency is what makes me and keeps me in this job, not, you know, just bending and going after it. So learning, kind of respecting myself in that way, and respecting my trading in a way to stop myself from bending is to add on to what CT said.
Yeah, and it's going to take time and practice to be able to do that consistently. Dory's asking, let's see, how do you seem to like is having a problem with up nicely and then like throwing on trades carelessly and then giving it back. There's two things I would recommend. The first is make sure that you're using something like Trader Sync so you can visualize your success, and having something you can look at after you log off or later in the day to see like how you're consistently adding up those green days and the cumulative effect of all that can really help you stop to give back. Like for me, I've not been really good about importing my trades and like reviewing them, like with on a in a visual manner, and I think that's contributing to like my sloppiness this week, for instance. And the other thing I would recommend is find something that you enjoy doing that you can do like early in the day so that you can log off and go do something fun, and you can be doing your fun thing thinking about how you already made your money for the day and how lucky you are to have a job like this where you can make money in 30 minutes and go do something fun and enjoy life, because ultimately that's an important thing, to enjoy
Mm-hmm.
life.
Yeah, and on top of that, or he's asking CT if I can add to it. Um, I think you have to accept that giving back is part of trading and it's the cost of doing business. So unless you say I'm up and I log off, if you continue trading, there's like a 90% chance that you're going to get back and not ended account highs. The days that I ended account highs are probably like maybe 3 days out of the month. Like it almost never happens because I keep trading and I give back 20% or 25%, and then I stop, or I give back 25 or 30%, then I make it back 10%, but the market's kind of choppy, so I log out. It's like it's very rare I end at account highs, and I say very rare, like once a week type thing I do, or twice a week, or I logged out early. But you just have to accept it in a sense, and then if it bothers you, kind of learn to be disciplined enough to not trade carelessly and start like looking for selective trades, because you traded good to get there. I assume you weren't careless with getting to your green day, and so then it's like a reset. Score 0-0. What's a trade I'm looking for? And now instead of like now I'm trade hunting, or I'm logging off if I begin to get careless, and I try to identify when I'm careless and I quit or I walk away for an hour and then come back, or you just stop at that point. I don't know if that careless factor kind of comes in there, and you have to identify that as a trader and follow the rules and do some of the stuff CT is saying. Like, man, if I can just stop being careless and identify that, you'll make yourself a lot of money.
Yeah, and I mean, typically most of us, I think we will trade until we might be grinding up and grinding up with the P&L, and then we take a loss or two, and we're like, okay, cool. So, things are getting difficult now. You just got to be able to walk away at that point. And um, to add what Gator was saying, like, yeah, you might not always end your day your P&L high, but and I mean, you're probably going to trade until like your hit rate starts to go down, and that's going to knock you off your P&L high. So having the ability to walk away at that point and not be endlessly trying to like, oh, I got to get back to that number, or which can frequently, once things stop working, you're not probably going to get back to that number. You're probably going to go to an even lower number, which something that you want to reflect on and learn how to walk away at that point.
For sure, man. It's good advice.
I feel like I'm rambling really bad today.
You're
I'm
not,
so beat, dude.
dude. You're not. It's like you say half of what I say, and you say all of it, so you're not rambling. It's like at all. We are been going a little bit. I don't know, like I don't know what else you got going on. If you're just crashing, if you got other stuff to do after the
I
show.
would I would I would be okay wrapping up in like 5 minutes here.
Yeah,
The it looks like we've been going for what, like an hour 40.
yeah.
That's substantial for us.
That is substantial. It's a long time to sit and talk. But not actually. I mean, it feels like it goes quick, but looking back at it, it is long and all that. Let's see. Nothing wrong with trading small. Um, just leave it. Trade small. I'm actually going to be something I'm going to be doing, and then we'll wrap up. Is I'm going to be trading small or shorter time frames. You probably won't hear me. If I come on, I might not be trading, and maybe I'll do call outs, but I've got a lot to get done, so I'm not going to be as trading as much. I might not even do Wednesday live shows. I might do pre-recorded trade reviews to post for people of trades from Monday through Wednesday type thing, and I'll crop out ones that are good or bad, or like 30-minute time frames or something, just because like I've got a lot to do, and spending time with my wife and other stuff and the kids, while I have all this going on, buying furniture or spending time at night trying to look through furniture and talk with designers and stuff. Like my head isn't always in trading, so coming on in the middle of the week and talking it is sometimes is a lot. So while I'm through this, I might slow it up while I'm going through
Yeah,
this move.
and Baxter's talking about, oh, I got a lot of stuff to do next week and be trading late. Just, to those of you who maybe haven't been spending a lot of time watching Gators videos or listening to us get together chatting, you'll see like a pretty consistent theme that we identify what like when we're having a week or a day that we've got a lot of distractions or whatnot, and we tear down. And you know uh, you really got to learn how to do that. Like when you're able to be 100% focused and the market is great, that's the time to tear up. When the market is like off and on and you've got distractions, that's the time to tear down. And that's all part of preserving your capital and important stuff to incorporate into your routine.
Yep, both mental and financial capital. So, with that, CT, the man with the wisdom, with the mustache, like, share, thanks for coming on, brother. I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy move to hang out and chat about the market,
Well,
chat
I think
about this week.
we'll do this more regularly. I think once I'm settled, I think next Friday we're gonna be driving in a cargo van, so I probably will not be streaming with you from there. But once we're settled, I will be happy to get a little more consistent with these because it's always fun to hang out with you and everybody in chat.
Yeah, I agree, man. I really love doing them. Makes the shows a lot more enjoyable, and you know, there's good stuff to come here and in the Discord and on the YouTube in the future. Like I said, a lot of us are going through big moves right now and a lot of life changing stuff. So be patient. While you're patient, you can share this with other people and be like, hey, you should check this out. And if they come in Discord, we can always send people, strategies, talk, teach, try to help people stuff to learn all that fun stuff. I'm getting tired too, but yeah, like, share, subscribe to the stuff if you think that it's worth it. If you enjoyed the content, really appreciate it if you do that. It does help the channel, helps the YouTube algorithms and all that for them to look at it and be like, oh, hey, people like this stuff, and recommend it to other people. I hope you guys traded good. I hope you had a good week and that you're going into the market or into the weekend like mentally clean and toxic free. And we'll see you next week, and we'll kind of continue doing what you're doing or what we're doing. CT, you got anything for the people?
I think you did an excellent outro there, my man. So peace out, everyone. Love you all, and join us next week if you can, or like on Monday is I guess what I'm trying to say. Dude, my brain. Anyways, peace
Oh,
out, everybody.